Okay, in this tutorial I'm going to talk about strings. So a string in programming is a collection of characters. So the collection of characters can include letters or numbers or symbols. So I'm going to show you a quick little example now in Python. So I'm going to define a variable name. So I'm going to call it message, and then I'm going to assign it a string. So to assign it a string, you need to use the quotation marks. Now you can use double or single. If you're going to use double, make sure you use double throughout. If you're going to use single throughout. It's best to try and mix them up. So I'm going to create a string by using the speech marks. Now I'm going to write a message. So I'll do hello world. And to close off my string, I use the speech marks again. Okay, so I've created my string, and these are the characters that are in my string. I've got some letters, space, and I've got a symbol. So now I'm going to print out my message, my string, using the variable name. I'll run it, and it prints out my string. Okay, right. So, really simple example of just creating a string and printing it out. What you can also do with a string is access individual characters from the string. Okay, so let's say for example you wanted to just print out the first letter of a string. Okay, now to do that you need to use the square brackets. So we're going to use the example I just said about printing out the first character from a string. So I'm going to go back to my code. Now my string is hello world, and now if I want to print out just the first character, in my print message, by here, right after the variable name, I'm going to open a square bracket. Now, I'll open and close my square brackets. Now, inside those square brackets, I need to put in the number of the value of the string that I want to print out. Now, if we count how many characters are in this string, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the space, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so we've got 12 characters in the string. So it would make sense, wouldn't it, if you wanted to print the first letter, to put a 1 in that box. So we'll put a 1 in the box and we'll run it, we'll see what happens. And it's actually printed out E, which is the second letter. So this is a really important thing to remember, that when you're trying to access characters from a string, it actually starts from 0. 0 is the first position, not 1. Okay, so we've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so that first position 0 count is the first one. So I'm going to change that 1 for a 0, run it, and it prints out the H. Okay, so if I wanted to print out, we'll pick another one now, we'll pick 11. Okay, because remember 11 is the last position, not 12, because we start at 0. Okay, so you can type in any number you want, as long as it's not outside the 11, because it's not going to print anything. So if I try 12, okay, we get a little error message, string index out of range. So that means it's out of the range. We've only got 11 in the string. If you try and print 12, it's out of range. Okay, so quick recap. If you want to access individual elements of the string, you use the square brackets and put in the position of the string that you want to print out. So I'll do 0, which is the first one, and it will print out the first letter. Okay. Now, another thing you can do with strings, if you want to access sort of elements of a string, is you can use something called subsequence, where you can print out a subsequence of characters from the string. So we'll do a quick example now. We're using the same sort of technique by using these square brackets and numbers, but we're going to insert a colon as well. So I'm going to start from position 0, and I'm going to print out all the way up to the O. So we've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that would be to the O. So I'm going to leave the 0 there because I want to start at position 0. Then I'm going to put a colon. So that first one there is your starting position. And then we said 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I want to print out the O, I'm going to put in a 4 to start off with. Now, reading that, it looks like it's going to start at that position and print all the way up to that position. So we'll run it. Now it's only printed out HELL. It hasn't actually printed out the O. So let's go back to the code. something you're going to have to try and remember. When you're using subsequence, it actually prints out one less than the number you put in as the endpoint. So if we put our endpoint as 4, it's only going to print out 0, 1, 2, and 3. Bit confusing, but you're going to have to try your best to remember it. So if I put in a 5 there, that means it's going to start at position 0 and print up to including position 4. It's always going to be one less. So if you run it again, we get hello. Okay. So let me just make this a little bit shorter. Okay. So another thing you could do, if you want to start at the beginning, rather than putting 0, you can actually just leave that first number out. By leaving that first number out, it'll start at the very, very beginning of the string. So I can run it again, and it will do the same thing. Okay. See if you can see this. Right. Let me just go down so that you can see. Okay. So it's printed out hello again. So now you can do exactly the same thing with the endpoint. So I'll start at position 1, and if I take out the end position, it'll print from position 1, which is the E, and it will just print all the way till the end. Okay, so we get hello world. Right, so if you don't know, if it's a very long string and you don't know how long it is and you don't want to put the number in, just leave the end number out and it'll print all the way till the end. Right, so that's a really quick way of doing it. Okay, so I'm going to show you one other thing that you can do with strings, and that is to find the length of the string. It's particularly useful if you've got a very, very long string that you need to find the length of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to alter my print message, and we're going to use the len function to find out the length of the string. So inside my print message, I am going to put len. Remember, it's got to be inside the bracket because print is a function. And then I'm going to open bracket, and then I'm going to close bracket. I've opened 2 brackets, so I've got to close 2 brackets. Okay, now we already know how long the string is, so what we expect now when we press run, it'll print out the length of the string. So that's okay, and it is 12, which is correct. Now remember, it's not 11. Okay, 11 was the position of the last character of the string. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But that's not the length. Okay, that's the position. The length of the string, if you start at H, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, including the space, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so the last character is at position 11, but the length of the string is 12, so that would be correct. Okay, I hope you found this tutorial useful.